us all. Just wait. You gotta take one small step. One small step. You gotta take one small step for freedom. You gotta take one small step. One small step. You gotta take one small step for freedom. No one noticed Nachshon over by the rippling tide. He had one foot in the water, his shoes at his side. He took one step, then another, till he barely could breathe. And just when the world went dark, the waters parted, and we were free. 'Cause he took one small step for freedom. You gotta take one small step. One small step for freedom. You gotta take one small step for freedom. You gotta take, you gotta take, you gotta take, you gotta take torai. Hineni b'tselem Elohim nikavim nikavim nishmati torai. Baruch atah Adonai, wondrous source of healing. Baruch atah Adonai, we thank you and praise your name. God is one.
potting and to continue to wear masks just to be overly abundantly cautious. But we're so glad you're here. Invite you to join us in singing and reading and participating. As we welcome Shabbat, we know that it is a peaceful destination at the end of a long and often overly busy week. How we got here doesn't matter as much as the fact that we have found our way to this sacred space and now we're here together. As Rabbi Bunham taught, 2 merchants go to the Leipzig fair. One goes by a direct route, another by an indirect, but both reach the same destination. In the service of God, too, we aim at holiness and hope to arrive at that point where we make God's will our own. As long as we get there, it makes no difference how long the journey has been, how long we have served God. As we learn in the Talmud, more or less, it matters not if the heart is turned to heaven. And so, as we welcome Shabbat as individuals and as one, our hearts turn to heaven, sanctifying this space and this sacred time with light. If you're with us on live stream, right below the screen, there is a button for our Siddur. We're turning to page 3, as well as our order of service. It's my pleasure to call up Michael Epstein to lead us in the readings that welcome our Shabbos light.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our own lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with his vote, commanding us to kindle the lights.
Join me in Kiddush on page 5. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho v'ava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron le'maseh v'reishit. Yehu yom techila l'mikra'e kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim. Kivanu v'acharta, ve'otanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, ve'ahava uvratzon inchatanu. Baruch atah Adonai v'kadesh haShabbat.
L'chaim. We turn now to page 12 as we welcome Shabbat with song, with Kabbalat Shabbat, Psalm 95, L'chu neranena.
L'chu neranena l'Adonai, nariah letzor yishenu. L'chu neranena l'Adonai, nariah tzor yishenu.
just across the page on the other side, Shiru Ladonai from Psalm 96. Shiru Ladonai, Shiru Shir Chadash, Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz. Shiru Ladonai, Shiru Shir Chadash, Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz. Shiru Ladonai, Baruchu Shemo, Basruni Yom Leyom Yeshuato. Shiru Ladonai, Baruchu Shemo. Basruni Yom Leyom Yeshuato. Shiru Ladonai, Shiru Shir Chadash, Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz. Shiru Ladonai, Shiru Shir Chadash, Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz. Shiru Ladonai, Baruchu Shemo, Basruni Yom Leyom Yeshuato. Shiru Ladonai, Baruchu Shemo, Basruni Yom Leyom Yeshuato. Shiru Ladonai, Shiru Shir Chadash, Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz. Shiru Ladonai, Shiru Shir Chadash, Shiru Ladonai, Kol Haaretz.
We turn to page 20 as we make ready to welcome the Sabbath bride, singing Lachado D. We sing verses 1 and 2, 5 and 9. And when we reach verse 9, Boiva Shalom, we rise as a congregation, turning to face the entrance of our sanctuary to welcome that Sabbath bride, that Shabbat spirit we feel when we're together. And if you're with us on live stream, I invite you to connect yourself with us in song and spirit, recognizing that your space is also a holy, sacred space, a mikdash ma'at, a small sanctuary that you create by your sacred presence. Join with us.
Ay 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 lechadoni, ay 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 likrat kala, ay 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 penei Shabbat, ay 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 nekabela, ay 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 lechadoni, ay 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 likrat kala, ay 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 penei Shabbat. Ay 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 nekabela, shamor v'zachor v'dibor echad, yishmi'anu el hameyuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, l'shem u'tiferet v'litila. Ay 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 lechadoni, ay 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 likrat kala, ay 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 penei Shabbat, ay 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 nekabela, likrat Shabbat lechu v'necha, ki mekor haberacha, merosh mikedem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshavat tefila. Ay 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 lechadoni, ay 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 likrat kala, ay 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 penei Shabbat, ay 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 nekabela, hitoreri, hitoreri, ki ba'orech kumiori, ori, ori, shir daveri, k'vod Adonai alayich nigla. Ay 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 lechadoni, ay 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 likrat kala, ay 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 penei Shabbat, ay 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 nekabela,
turn to those around you and wish them a Shabbat Shalom. Let them know you're glad they're here. If they're in your pod, give them a hug, or you're feeling comfortable.
We continue with Chatzi Kaddish on page 26 as we remain standing through the Shema. Yitkadav yitkadash me Rabba me Yamad yivrach rete v'yamlich mochote v'chai echol uvyom echol uvchayerecho beit Yisrael Bakala bakala uvizman kariv v'meru amen Yeshme Rabba mevarach le'olam olam me'amaya yitbarach yitbarach v'yishtabach yitpa'ar v'yitomar v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yithaleh v'yithalal shemei l'kodesha b'richu le'ela mikol birchata v'shirata tushmechata v'nechemata tamiran be'ama v'meru amen. Baruch hu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch hu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Adonai hamevorach le'olam va'ed. Yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai, yai lai lai, yai lai lai lai.
We continue on page 30 with Ma'ariv Aravim as we praise God for the gift of creation. Baruch Ata Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro Ma'ariv Aravim, b'chokhma potea she'arim, uvitvuna mishane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umisader et hakochavim, b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono. Borei yom v'layla, bolel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. Uma'avir yom umevi layla, umavdil bein yom uvein layla, Adonai tzevaot shemo. El chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu la'olam va'ed, Baruch ata Adonai, ha'ma'ariv aravim. On the bottom of page 33, we read responsively. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol.
All these things your Torah gives to us.
And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and gives.
What could be a truer token of your abiding love?
Than this holiest of your works and the living language that gives it form. Baruch ata Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael.
Shema Yisrael לעולם ועד. Seated. Please join me on page 36 with the Haftarah. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתיכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. אמן.
Amen. On the top of page 39, our Geula, our prayer for redemption, we read responsively. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot.
That wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness.
That there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
We read together on the bottom of page 43. Give us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, hapurei sukat shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim. Page 44, V'shamru.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Continue with the Amidah on page 46, and I invite you to please rise.
Adonai, Sefatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid, Tehilatecha. Adonai, Sefatai Tiftach, Ufi Yagid, Tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, Elyon, Omer Chasadim Tovim, V'koneh Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevii Geula livnei bneihem, Le'ma'an Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Mashiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham v'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh hakol atah Rav le'Hoshia, Morid atah, Mechakel chaim bechesed, Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim v'rofeh cholim, U'matir asurim, U'mekayem emunato lishenei afar, V'chamocha b'gevurot, U'mido melech, melech mimit u'mechayeh, U'matzmiach Yeshua, B'nai natan l'chayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayeh hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yehallelujah Selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
You may be seated. At the bottom of page 55, and I really mean the bottom, in the footnote, a piece by Abraham Joshua Heschel. The meaning of Shabbat is to celebrate time rather than space. 6 days a week we live under the tyranny of things in space. On Shabbat, we try to become attuned to the holiness of time. It is a day on which we are called upon to share in what is eternal in time, to turn from the results of creation to the mystery of creation, from the world of creation to the creation of the world. Page 57. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, and our longing to feel your presence, your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayer. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength in your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha be'ira na'avod. On page 61, we join together in our prayer for peace. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with Baruch atah Adonai, hamivarech et amo Yisrael, v'shalom. Having prayed for peace in our world, think of those who face the future not fully whole, those who are in need of healing of mind, body, and of spirit. We think of them and whisper their names aloud now. Join together with Misha Berach. The words can be found on page 150.
Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Yishabeirach imotenu, mikor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Take a moment to yourselves for silent Tzori v'gali. Oh, may the words of my mouth, the meditation of my heart be acceptable before you. O God, my rock and my redeemer. Oseh shalom b'mromav, uyaseh shalom aleinu ve'al Yisrael. Ve'imru, ve'imru, Amen.
In our Torah portion, Baha'olotecha, God requires Aaron to attend the menorah in the holy sanctuary. As it says in Numbers chapter 8, verses 1 and 2, then Adonai spoke to Moses, saying, "Speak to Aaron and say to him, when you mount the lamps, let the 7 lamps give light at the front of the menorah." It is unclear why this passage regarding the menorah is found here, and also why the high priest would be the one responsible for physical maintenance of the menorah. But it probably has something to do with his unique ability to kindle light and also share it with others. So here's a story connected story about the power of kindling light. In a small Jewish village many years ago, Hannah, the first candle maker of light, lived alone in a small house on a hill. On Friday evenings, if anyone looked in her window, they would have seen her lighting her candles, with light filling her house and flowing out the windows in streams of light into the hearts and souls of the people. In the same town as Hannah, there lived a young orphan, Rena, who lived with her Aunt Bracha. She loved her aunt, but she still missed her mother, especially Friday evenings when it was time to light the Shabbos candles. She remembered how she and her mother would gather up the light 3 times and stand for a long time making wishes and giving blessings. And while her Aunt Bracha also lit the candles and said the blessings, she always did it quickly and then went on to something else. It just wasn't the same, and this made Rena sad. On Thursday afternoons, it was Rena's job to go to the marketplace and buy the candles for Shabbat. The only place to buy the candles was from Hannah, the candle maker, and Rena did not like this job. Every week, she would approach Hannah's table, money in hand, and pick out 4 candles. Hannah always sat at her table, arms folded, a frown purposely placed on her face, with her eyes sparkling. "How much money do you have?" Hannah would ask brusquely. Rena showed her the money. "You don't have enough money for those candles," Hannah would say. "Well, I'll take any candles I can afford," Rena would stammer. "Oh, now you don't care which candles you take," Hannah would reply indignantly. No, I do care," stuttered Rena. "I just don't know which ones I can afford." Then Hannah pointed, Rena picked, and the ordeal was over until the next week. But one Thursday afternoon, it didn't happen that way. Rena arrived a little bit earlier than usual at the marketplace, and it was quiet. When she arrived at Hannah's table, she motioned to Rena to come close and be quiet. She looked Rena right in the eyes and began to smile, a warm, deep, gentle smile filling her face with light. Rena was amazed. She had never seen Hannah smile. "I want to invite you to my house for Shabbat," said Hannah, her voice sweet and gentle. "Can you come tomorrow before candle lighting?" Rena was shocked, but she managed to respond. I have to ask my Aunt Bracha if I can come to your house." "Then go ask her and take these 4 candles. They are my best. They are a gift. Now hurry." Rena ran all the way home and asked her aunt. Her aunt replied quietly, "If Hannah invited you, Then you must go. It is a great honor. She is the oldest and perhaps even the wisest person in our village. There must be a reason that she chose to invite you. She showed her aunt the candles that Hannah had given her as a gift. They were beautiful, long and white, and seemed to shine by themselves, even unlit. Aunt Bracha took the candles gently from Rena's hands and sent her back to the market to accept Hannah's Shabbos invitation. Rena returned to Hannah's table to say she could come. Hannah made her wait until she was alone. They were alone. Well, said Hannah. I can come, said Rena. Good, said Hannah. Bring 2 of the candles I gave you, and for now, do not tell anyone that you are coming to my house. The next day, a little nervous, very excited, Rena kissed her Aunt Bracha goodbye, wished her a good Shabbos, and made her way to Hannah's house, candles in her hand. She reached the door and knocked nervously. Come in. It's open. She heard Hannah call from inside the house. And as she came in through the door, Hannah met her dressed all in white in a flowing dress. Her face seemed to shine. She was beautiful. Good Shabbos, Rena, Hannah said. But Rena couldn't get any words out of her mouth. She just stared and wondered. Come, said Hannah. It's time to light the candles. When I light them, I want you to watch me closely, and you will do just what I do. When I finish, you will light your 2 candles. Gather up the light 3 times and cover your eyes. Then when you say the blessing, let every word be its own song. When you're finished, do not uncover your eyes. Wait. Look at the light within you. See what you see. Make 3 wishes. Prayers from your heart, 1 for the whole world, 1 for your family and friends, and 1 for yourself. When you feel my hand on your shoulder, you will uncover your eyes. But what if I make a mistake? What if I don't remember everything you said? Don't worry, said Hannah. Whatever you do will be right. When I'm finished, I'll nod my head and you will begin to light your candle. Hannah struck her match, lit her candles, gathered the light, and sang the blessing. When she finished, she nodded her head, but she did not uncover her eyes. Rena struck her match, lit her candles, and began gathering up the light. As she gathered the light, suddenly she remembered that this was the way she had lit the candles with her mother. She covered her eyes, which were now wet with tears, and began to sing the blessing over the candle. Each word was its own song that seemed to sing itself within her. And when she finished, it seemed to Rena that she could see streams of light flowing out from the candles and out from her fingers, through the windows and the walls and into the hearts of the people, filling them with light. She wished that the whole world would be filled with Shabbos light. She wished she could see her parents again, even though she knew it was impossible. She wished that the new girl in school would want to be her friend. She felt a gentle touch on her shoulder, and she opened her eyes. The room seemed filled with light. Hannah's face was glowing, her eyes radiating love. Rena thought of her mother, and the tears welled up in her eyes, and Hannah wiped the tears and held her close. Did you see anything? This might sound funny, said Rena, but I saw light coming out of the candle, streams of light. It was as if they were coming out of the candles and out of my fingers, and they flowed out of the house, and it seemed to me that these streams of light split up into many, many streams, and each one went into a person and filled them with light. It was very beautiful. It made me remember when I used to light candles with my mother. We would say that we were sending Shabbos light to all our friends and family, but I never saw the light actually going out into the people. I hope that's okay. It's more than okay, Rena. It's why I picked you. Picked me for what? Rena asked. I picked you to take over my job. What do you mean? I'm very old. I will not live forever. And when I die, there must be someone to take over for me. I will teach you how to make the most beautiful candles in the world. But more than that, I will teach you how to be the candle maker of light. Rena couldn't move, but from that moment, she felt a strange sensation lighting up inside of her. And I will teach you, said Hannah, not only to make the candles, but how to truly send that light of Shabbos to the world, to heal and nourish the hearts of the people. Rena saw in Hannah's eyes that this was true. And when you grow up and get married, you will come and live in this house, and you will be the candle maker of light. And so every month, Rena would come to spend Shabbos with Hannah. And every week she came after school to learn how to make candles. Hannah lived to see Rena married, and when she died, Rena and her husband moved into Hannah's house. Rena became the candle maker of light. By day, Rena sold her beautiful candles in the marketplace. But unlike Hannah, she greeted all who came to her table with a smile of warmth and love. All who came to her house for Shabbos learned how to gather the light and let each word of the blessing sing itself within their hearts, and how to send the light of Shabbat out into the hearts of all who needed it. According to the rabbinic tradition, this gift of sharing light was also Aaron's greatest gift. He was a peacemaker, one who spent his time among the people. He didn't wait for those who stood in the darkness to come within the circle of light, but he went out to them and drew them in. He not only lit the flame in the soul of his fellow Jews, but inspired them so they would give light on their own accord. As the Midrash imagines, God's angels explained to Aaron the sacred nature of his task. It may be easy to light the menorah, but far less easy to maintain it. It takes great ability to remove that which is preventing the lights from shining, anything that might dim the brightness of the flame. And so that's our task too, to find ways to be a candle maker of light, to share that light with others, to be generous with kindness and compassion, to think not only of our own needs and troubles, but the challenges that other people face. We can be like Aaron and like Rena in our story too, because the holiest task is to find ways to lift others up, like in our Torah portion, so that they can see and appreciate their own light shining forth. Amen. Before we continue with the concluding portion of our service, we want to offer a special blessing for someone in our community that also brings light. Cantor Julie Berlin just celebrated her 25th year of her cantorate and was awarded a Doctor of Music honoris causa, if I pronounced that correctly. Just yesterday, there was an official online ceremony. So Cantor Berlin is very exciting. I was there, I watched it. Cantor Berlin joined Rabbi Jurgen and I in front of the open ark for a special blessing. I'd ask everyone to please rise. Shir l'Adonai, shir chadash, shir l'Adonai kol haaretz. Sing to God a new song. May the whole earth sing a song to God. May the Holy One who blessed our ancestors before us bless our cantor, Julie Berlin, and celebrate her achievement of receiving her Doctor of Music honoris causa for 25 years of sacred service to the Jewish people as a cantor.
When we sing God's praises, we open our hearts to the possibility of spiritual renewal. Julie, may your gift of music and spirit continue to help us sing new songs to God, inspire us to spiritual fulfillment, and help us find meaning in the prayers and praises of our heart.
May God help direct your steps and sustain you in peace. May you find joy and contentment in your work. May your teachings and songs be inspired by the Eternal One as you continue to be a messenger of the holy traditions of our people and of God's love.
May you continue to go forth in song and in spirit, with Torah and mitzvot to lead your path, holiness and compassion to guide your steps, and fullness of faith and love to inspire others.
And so we say, Yivarech Adonai v'yishmerech. May God bless you and keep
Ya'er Adonai panav elech v'yichunech. May God's light shine upon you, and may God be gracious to you.
Yisa Adonai panav elech v'yasem lach. Shalom. May you feel God's presence within you always, and may you find Mazel Tov.
We continue standing as we continue with Aleinu on page 283.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת קריאה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא שם חלקנו לייחד את שמו, וגור עלינו להמליך מלכותו, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך
You may be seated. Our memorial meditation can be found on page 189. Meditation by Rabbi Chaim Stern. The light of life is a finite flame. Like the Shabbat candles, life is kindled, it burns, glows, radiant with warmth and heat. But soon it fades, its substance is consumed, and it is no more. In light we see, in light we are seen. The flames dance, and our life burns down in gutters. There is an end to the flame. See no more and are no more seen, yet we do not despair, for we are more than a memory slowly fading into the darkness. With our lives we give life. Something of us can never die. We move in the eternal cycle of darkness and death, of light and life. Our thoughts turn now to those in our community who have died at this time in years past. As we mark their yard sites, remember them. Jack Alter, Shirley Alter, Fofo Anthony, Benita Wiederman Bath, Ruth Bayer, Becky Block, Dorothy Dottie Finn Block, Sabina Lowenberg Block, Emma Brown, Henry Cohen, Herbert Crane, Lily Fisher, Henry Fischel, Herman H. Fleischman, Howard Goldberg, Erwin Golden, Jetty Goshawk, Nita Greenberg, Sadie Grossman, Jack Gerwitz, Solomon House, Bob Hayden, Sarah Joseph, Rosemary Keller, Maria Dmitrievna Kiseleva, Freda Kleinman, Estelle Kovner, Anatoly Kravchenko, Herbert Lauderson, Dr. Samuel S. Leff, Alex Lieberman, Jacob Menick, David Buddy Michelson, Richard Neely, Lenore Neer, Helene Oftinger, John Ofterdinger, Jenny Phillips, Harold Reamer, Morris Rosenstein, Myrna Rosenstein, Dr. Morris Rubenstein, Vera Fischel-Rush, Willis Salomon, Ira Schwartz, Elizabeth Steff Schock, Harry Stahl, Beatrice Stein, Chauncey Stein, Louis R. Sutton, Richard R. Toussaint, Bernard Weinstein, Robert Weinstein, and Henry T. Wexner Jr. We also think of those who've died this past month, whose families are in a mourning period of shloshim. We remember Rabbi Morley T. Feinstein, Arthur Gerwitz, Lisa Starr Rosenstein, and Sabra Landy. We also think of one who's died this past week. Family is in a mourning period of Shabbat. Remember Stanley David Rosenberg, husband of Sandra Rosenberg, father of Susan and Lee Sandolsky, Carol and Steve Baskin, Jill and Bobby Rosenthal, grandfather of Allison and Zach Kaplan, Sean and Maggie Sandolowski, Sam Baskin, Chelsea Baskin, Justin Rosenthal, Blake Rosenthal, and Aubrey Rosenthal, great-grandfather of Dylan Kaplan, Charlotte Kaplan, Oliver Sandolowski, and Caroline Sandolowski, brother-in-law of Kenneth and Carol Sugarman, uncle of Michael Sugarman, Amy and Dan Weingart, and Andy Sugarman, Stephen Sobel, and Lauren and Roy Harris. To all of these names, we add those which are in our hearts every day as we join together the Kaddish Yatom on 194, rising as one community. Yitzgadal v'yitzkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayachon v'yomechon u'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, v'agala u'vizman karib imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam ulmei almaya, yitzbarach, yishtabach, yitpa'ar, v'yitromam, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, shemei d'kudasha b'richu, La'ela mikol berchata v'shirata, shushbachata v'nechamata, v'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, which we say, Amen. Our closing song this evening is Ein Keloheinu, which can be found on page 322.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.